Hi guys, welcome back to another Mr. Scott's Stories and Tales. We're very fortunate again today to have another guest reader with us, and she has got a really neat story to read to you, The Berenstain Bears. And it's a story that has a little bit to do with what we got going on now. With everybody being out of school, it's almost like too much vacation. But we're going to hear a really cool story about that. So I'm going to flip the camera and we'll take it away from there, okay? And here we go. Whoop.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's the guest here, and today I will be reading The Berenstain Bears and Too Much Vacation. My mom was going to be here, but she has to do something, so I just decided to go ahead and read it. Hope you enjoyed this story. The Berenstain Bears and Too Much Vacation. Can a bear's vacation with more rain than sun end up being the one that's most fun? That didn't make any sense. Well, that's everything, said Mama Bear as she and Sister and Brother Bear held the car trunk lid so that Papa could tie it down. Not quite, said Papa, running back into the tree house. We almost forgot the camera, he said when he read or something. What good is a wonderful vacation without photograph to remember it by?
Is there pictures?
Yep. There's Mama and Papa. There's Mama and Papa Bear and brother and sister.
Oh, excellent.
I love Sister Bear.
You like Sister Bear? She's your favorite character?
Yeah, and also Mama Bear. Good thinking, Papa, said Brother. May I take some pictures when we get there? And how about me? Sister wanted to know. Of course you may, said Papa as they bundled into the car. We're all going to take the pictures of the most wonderful vacation the Bear family has ever had. All right now, everybody buckle up and we'll be on our way. For safety belts clicked into place, and they left their safe, comfortable treehouse and headed for the excitement and adventure of a vacation high up in the wilds of the Great Grizzly Mountains.
The Great Grizzly Mountains. Wow.
It had been Papa's idea to take their vacation in the Great Grizzlies. It'll be a real wilderness experience. We'll live off the land. We're getting too soft here in the valley with our supermarkets and other comforts. When we saw the ad in the newspaper, there were no holding him. He said, try a wilderness vacation, a lovely mountain cabin completely with a rowboat by beautiful Crystal Lake. Ah, said Papa, painting beautiful word pictures to wake with the rising sun and catch our breakfast from a clear mountain lake. To bathe in the sparkling water, to snack on delicious wild berries as we tramp the mountain trails. It's kind of like what some people do on their vacation. To gaze at the beautiful of the mountain sunset, then to sleep through the peace and quiet of the mountain night, far from the noise of traffic and neighbors barking dogs. It all sounded great to the cubs. What kind of fish will we catch, Papa? asked Brother, Trout, no doubt, he answered with surprise. Confident, but Mama wasn't so sure he would catch anything. So when she packed, she took along some canned goods in case the trout weren't biting, and some books and games in case of a rainy day. I can almost taste the fresh caught trout, said Brother as the road led even higher into the mountain forest. And I can almost taste those yummy wild berries, said Sister. So they're going to have some fun.
It looks like it. It sounds like it, too.
I don't even know if Mama, Papa, brother and sister are even going to have a good vacation like they planned.
Well, I guess
because it says too much vacation.
Yeah, we're going to have to finish the story and find out what's going to happen.
Yeah. And don't forget my terrific wilderness stew, said Papa as he turned onto a even steeper road. But we didn't bring things for the stew, objected Mama. All we brought is some canned goods. Of course we didn't, laughed Papa. I'm talking about my special live off the land survival stew. It's my secret recipe, and I make it from bark, leaves, and roots that I find in the woods. That's gross. When will we get there? Asked the cubs. Very soon. I can tell by the smell of the mountain air, said Papa, as he taking a deep breath. Now the stew, it says bark and leaves and roots. Who wants that? I don't. Well, bears eat bark and they eat roots and they eat leaves.
They have different tastes than people do, don't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it. I would be like, no thanks. That's not mountain air, complained Brother, making a face. That's making a face. That's skunk. Said Papa, wrinkling his nose. A good time to start taking those pictures, thought Mama. Pew, said Papa. Click, said the camera. There's the cabin, shouted Sister as they routed the men. Where's the camera? Papa's face is hilarious. When she said that's a skunk, I would be like, run out of the car. But that's hilarious. And there it was indeed, a mountain cabin beside a lake, complete with rowboat, of course. It wasn't quite as they had pictured it from the ad. Crystal Lake looked more like mud soap. The lovely mountain cabin looked more like a tumble-down shack. There was a rowboat, all right, but it had half sunk in the lake. Ugh. But Papa wasn't the least bit discouraged. He was more excited than ever. It's perfect, he shouted. The most perfect live-off-the-land vacation spot I've ever seen. Mama wasn't so sure. She noticed that there was no wires leading into the cabin, which meant there was no electricity. That's the last thing we need, scoffed Papa. What you need on a live-off-the-land vacation is plenty of can-do spirit and lots of forest smarts, and I've got enough of those for all of us. You're right.
Papa sounds pretty sure of himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he doesn't care what the cabin looks like or What it is, he just wants to have a good vacation. That's all. He took a cooking pot and a folding chair from the car trunk. Here, he said, making a C for Mama. This is a vacation. You relax while I gather the fixing for my fabulous wilderness stew. Uh-oh. And you two tidy up the cabin, he called to the cubs as he headed into the forest with the cooking pot. But Mama didn't expect to do much relaxing on this vacation, and she wasn't surprised to find that the cabin was even worse mess inside than it was outside. There was an ankle-deep carpet of twigs, branches, and dead leaves on the floor. There was practically a museum of spider webs, cocoons, and mouse nests. Uh-oh. Time for another picture, the Mama skirtingly with the mice click went the camera. The cabin is a mess.
It is.
And then I don't think Papa wanted to see the cabin yet. I think he's gonna let the brother, sister, and Mama see it first, and then later that night he sees it and see how fabulous they did it. I bet the girls, Mama and sister, are gonna do the best of brothers, like just sitting there playing video games.
Is that what brothers do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad I don't have a brother. If I had a brother, I would just be sitting there playing with him. I would be a nice sister.
I'm sure you would.
What's this? Asked Sister as she cleaned leaves out of the sink. That's a hand pump for water, answered Mama. Just what I needed. It was Papa. Back with the cooking pot full of strange-looking bark, leaves, and roots, a little water for my stew. He worked the handle, the pump glurred and squeaked, and after a while began to squirt water, rusty brown water. But he wasn't discouraged. Just what I needed for my stew, he said, cheerfully. Ready-made gravy. That was weird. He carried the pot outside where he had prepared a cooking fire. It was very exciting for the cubs, but Mama wasn't so sure. So she made a fire in the fireplace and warmed up a supper of canned beans and dried honeycomb. I just realized that picture.
Oh.
I've been practicing reading chapter books, though.
I see.
I've been practicing reading the chapter books, so. But not easy books, but I like reading.
Oh, good.
Maybe one time you can read to them.
I've been doing that.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a lot. There's a lot of recordings. That's why it's great to have you helping me out with this.
When Papa cried, "Stew time!" the cubs ran out for the first taste. Mama followed with the camera. "Here's to living of the land," said Papa, holding a big spoon of the strange-looking stuff. Then he, brother, and sister each took a taste. "Yeah," said sister. "Bleh," said sister. "Patootie," said Papa. "Click," said the camera. Patootie. That's what. Mama's bear supper of beans and honeycomb proved very tasty. Papa Bear stretched and yawned. Now early to bed, so I can get up with the sun and catch our breakfast. The sun did rise, and it was very beautiful, but Papa snored right through it. The frogs, crickets, and owls had made such a racket during the night that he hadn't fallen asleep until just before the rising sun lit up the sky. Oh no! I don't know about going to bed that early in the morning. I kind of would, but not that early. Like, the sun doesn't rise till 7. And surprisingly, it should go down at 7 because it rises up in 7, so we would have 10 hours with it. But we don't.
You mean 12 hours?
But what? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying all those words, by the way. Papa began to get a little discouraged when he went out to catch breakfast. The boat had sank as soon as he stepped into it, and all he caught was gloopy mudsucker that made sniffling noises and started sniffle, sniffle, glop, said the mudsucker. Click, said the camera. Ooh, now Brother's taking the picture, and Mama's been taking it for a while. When it was Papa's turn to snap the picture, when Mama and the cubs tasted the berries, the thorns were something fierce, and the berries were so sour, even the birds pickered. Again. Oh no. How do you do that face?
I don't know.
Okay, that's... Later, there was a perfectly beautiful sunset, but the bear family didn't get to see much of it. They were too busy swatting the swarms of hungry mountain mosquitoes that swooped in from the lake. "Live off the land, you say," shouted Mama as they ran for the cabin. "With all these thorns and mosquitoes, it's more like the land of living off us." Of course, it began to rain just as they reached the cabin, but the roof leaked badly, and pretty soon they had more leaks than they had pots and pans. They spent a miserable night. By morning, they had soaked to their fur, and from the foot of the water in the front stairwell. Cool. No, it's a section. So here they are, swatting mosquitoes with the sunrise, and then rain. Rain, go away. Don't bother their vacation. Okay. Don't worry, said Papa. The rain can't last forever. And as soon as I sweep out the water, but instead of sweeping the water swept Papa out the door, down the muddy slope, and into the mucky lake. When Mama and the cubs reached him, he looked like a mud ball than Papa Bear. "Say," he said, looking at them, I've had a terrific idea. Let's go home." That's an idea. So the bear family loaded the trunk, put the car top up, bundled into the car, and bumped and splashed down the mountain in the driving rain, and the rain had stopped and the sun had come up by the time they reached the valley, and their treehouse had never looked so good to them as it did that day. And let's turn the page. The next day, Mama took the film to the camera store to be developed. When the pictures came back a few days later, the Bear family wrote titles on them. They began to chuckle as they passed the pictures around. The chuckles grew to roaring laughter, and soon they were laughing so hard that they cried. Papa smells the mountain airs. We are greeted upon our arrival. We tasted Papa's wilderness stew. Papa catches our breakfast, our first taste of mountain berries, and Papa decides it's time to go home. See? Oh, I thought it was the end. And so often, though, the years they take in those pictures, they have an absolutely wonderful time enjoying the worst vacation the Bear family ever had.
The end.
The end.
Oh, did you like that story?
So yes, I did. And the Bear family, I think Papa kind of learned his lesson.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I also think that Mama should have been a little supportive on Papa's ideas.
Oh, I think she was pretty supportive. She didn't fuss.
Well, she didn't
too
think
much.
so, that everything was going to happen, and I would think so. To, like, let's say my dad. I'm always saying, yeah, maybe, and when we get there, it doesn't turn out how my dad says it would.
So, okay. But you like the story.
Yeah.
That's a good story. And you did very well reading it. Now, what do we need to tell everybody to remind them about what's going on now?
Wash your hands and stay apart.
And we're going to hopefully come back with another story, right?
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Did you guys like that? That was a cool story, wasn't it?
Comment if you did.
Yeah, comment if you did. And we're hopefully going to come back with some more stories for you. And in the meantime, if you guys are getting homework or work assignments from your teachers at school, be sure to do those. It's very, very important that we keep up with that because we're going to be out of school for a little bit longer. And in the meantime, like you were told, let's keep our hands washed
and stay apart.
And stay apart. And listen to the grown-ups, because what they're telling us and telling you guys to do is just to keep everybody safe and healthy.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys again later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.